Welcome to another episode of Crypto Chit Chat with Carmen Crypto. In today's episode, we'll be meeting Diamond Dallas Crypto, who is the CEO of Crypto Blast. And we will learn all about his journey in crypto, where he started from, a memorable scam experience, what his vision for crypto is in the future, and his top three advices for new investors. And we'll also get an update on the vision of Crypto Blast and what's next for them. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Welcome to the show, Diamond Dallas Crypto, CEO of Crypto Blast. Well, my name is Carmen Crypto. I think we might be related. You think so?
Possibly, we could possibly be related.
We could be
Thanks for
crypto
having me,
cousins.
Carmen. Yeah, we could
You're
be.
so welcome. So, what I love about these podcasts is that I get to sit with a developer or somebody in your title, a CEO, to talk all things crypto. And I'm going to spend this next hour getting to know you. So, we're going to go through your origin story and some fun stories that you've experienced here in crypto. This is for our DYOR token audience. Now, they're all new investors. So, there's so much wisdom and advice that I'm sure I'm going to learn from you today. In order for me to get to know you, why don't you let me know what is your crypto origin story? Like, how did you get into crypto and where did you come from in life?
Um, this is way back. This is about 11 years ago. Um, I'm sitting on my computer. I was actually at the time I was living like in the middle of a forest and I had like the slowest internet. And I'm sitting there and I come across this website and it says enter your email and we'll give you 5 free Bitcoins. So I'm like, what's a Bitcoin? I had no clue about it, what it was, anything. So I went and searched it up. I said, oh, this kind of sounds cool. So I'm like, well, they're giving you 5. So how about I just sign up all 4 of my emails? So that was how I got my first cryptocurrency was I signed up these 4 emails and got 20 Bitcoins. Um, then I started, watching the price and I'm like, oh, this is going up. This might be something that I should invest in. So I bought another 180. I think I paid around $4 and it was about a month later and the price shot up. And I was only like 4x, but I was like, wow, like this is so much money now, because I was younger and that was a lot of money to me. Like I can pay my rent. So I sold 190 of these Bitcoins and paid my rent. I think it was like 2 days later, the price shot up. It shot up to like $68. And I'm like, what did I do? Like, what a mistake I made.
Whoa.
So that's when I realized how much, cryptocurrency can go up and down was right at that moment. Like, this really has potential to be something big. And the more I researched it, the more I thought, okay, well, this is something I should hold on to. So those last 10 Bitcoins that I had, I actually still have them today. I told myself I'm never selling these, and I've just held on to them. I said maybe I'll sell them at 500,000, maybe a million, but I'm still holding on to them. But one thing was when they were $68, I said, man, I can't buy any more of this. It's too expensive. It hit $500. I thought, oh my God, too expensive. And so on and so on, right? I always thought it was the top. So that's one lesson I learned is sometimes you just don't know how much something's going to grow because there is some crazy gains going on in this space.
That is one of the that was one of the hardest things to hear and to let you finish that story without interrupting you and being like, "What?" I mean, you had me at 20 Bitcoin, and then when you purchased another 180, I mean, so I wanted to interrupt you maybe 3 to 4 times there to get some clarity, but I held tight there. because anybody listening now you're far more tenured than I in crypto, 100%. And I think a lot of our listeners are in the same boat, right? So it's still hard to this day to find, you know, crypto people like you that have been in this long and are still in it, still passionate about it, still trying to contribute to the space. But having talked about those numbers, I mean, we when I hear it, I think to myself, I still have a young crypto mindset. So when it hits my brain, I'm like, wow, how would I not be continuously kicking myself in the butt year after year, day after day, right? But there's something that is found by experiencing that, and I'm sure it added to your mindset as an investor today. So now that you know you still have those 10, you no longer need to think about the loss that you experienced, but the value that you have retained, right? With the 10 that you have kept.
Yeah, like one of the things in crypto is you can't have regrets because there's going to be things you sell and they go way up, and it just happens. There's going to be things you buy and they go way down. You can't regret it. You have to go into it uh, just saying, I could make a whole bunch of money or I could lose it all. Um, I mean, I have a worse story than that one. I don't even know if I should tell it, but
Please do.
I on when Dogecoin launched, I bought $5,000 the day after it launched. Okay. I think it was about a week later, it started to dip and I sold out for 2x. Now, had I had a held that, I would have had $170 million. That's what have been worth about in September. I calculated it. It would have been 170 million. So you just can't regret, because you just got to be happy. Like I doubled my money. You can't let that get you down.
Well, I guess you bring up a good point. Like if you live in regret, you're going to be less confident making decisions going forward. But it's also not healthy as an investor to be completely indecisive where you don't make a move, right? So there's a balance that needs to be met. Do you think it's about identifying what type of investor you are? Like you were happy with a 2x. So when you made that sale, you made that decision to secure the gain, right? And so you do have to develop that tolerance to not have to be mad at yourself or regret the opportunity that you weren't able to capture by staying in longer, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because the thing about it too is there's going to be lots of other opportunities. There's always the next opportunity, and it's all about just finding it. And sometimes you hit it and you find it, and you held on to something that you believed in, and it took off. There is other times when you hold on to something that you believe in and it next thing you know it's dust. So it works both ways, but if you keep at it and keep doing your research, eventually you're going to have success.
So one of the things that makes me question is, you made a decision to sell at a gain, right? But I find that in this space for new investors, the emotion happens in the loss. So a lot of the chart action that we currently see, especially in the realm of new projects, is that it's there's a ton of emotion and panic behaviors that exist when a chart dips, and people still sell there. They still sell at a loss. When was you have to kind of, like, build that emotional stability to in fact be opposite of that, and sometimes we're told that's your best time to accumulate. When in your crypto journey did you learn that that was the best strategy, or did you find that to be the best strategy for you?
I had this was last spring. I put I was actually drinking, and I came home after drinking, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll check the prices and this and that. And I saw one going up, and this is where a lot of mistakes happen is you're like chasing that green candle. So I think I threw like around $10,000 into this token. And as soon as I threw it in, it started to dip and I panicked and I sold it and it went down a bit. And then, oh, it's going back up. So I bought and then it started to dip and I sold and then it's going up and I bought. I did that about 6 or 7 times. And then I looked, I had about $1,000 left. And I just said, "Oh my God." So I've really learned from stuff like that that you just gotta hold. If I had just thrown that money in there and just left it, I probably would have had $100,000 because when I woke up in the morning, it was about 10x from my initial where I put my initial money in, and I had sold out completely. Even $1,000 was back in my wallet. So one main thing I learned was don't drink and trade crypto. That was a big one. And another thing is don't panic when you see that chart falling. Unless like a lot of the cryptos, because we have the chats, we have the Telegram chats or Discord or whatever, you can kind of you can see the mood in the chat and kind of feel when it's time to get out of something. That chat will turn and you just know like, oh my God, it's time to get out of this.
You had told me something about your journey that really stood out to me, especially considering the amount of years that you've been in crypto. When you go back 11 years and the nature of the internet itself, it's not at all as advanced in terms of, communication being so easy today than it was 11 years ago. So you had mentioned, you were kind of struggling with a connection of internet, and it was also a space for you to be a first adopter of most things in the internet, and then also this emerging new financial sphere, right, of cryptocurrency. Can you give me a picture of like what your daily crypto life would have looked like 11 years ago? Was it just websites or did you have, you know, active chats?
No,
What were the go-tos?
there was forums. I can't remember the name of the forum, but I used to go on this forum every day and people would be talking in this forum. It was, nothing close like Telegram. It was really, like dinosaur age stuff, right? And that's where you would go to kind of get your crypto news or ideas or something new coming out. You would see this post from someone and they'd be like, "Oh, this ICO is happening or whatever." And that's how you kind of got your news. It was really a dinosaur age in crypto is what it was. Nothing
And
like
how did
today.
you
Today is like the, super advanced and I'm sure 10 years from now we're going to be like, "Oh my God, that was the dinosaur age and why didn't we buy more of this and that?" And look at how advanced it is now with metaverses and stuff. You'll have your virtual reality goggles on and we'll be having this meeting in a metaverse sitting in front of each other while we're watching charts on a virtual TV or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys were truly the pioneers of your time, right? And for me, like walking into this space fairly recent, we still complain, right? Like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard to get on an exchange. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to set up a why are there all these steps? Why can't I just pay with my credit card and be a holder?" Right? It's like we're trying to get these steps further down and down and down to maybe 1 or 2. The we're still spoiled compared to where you came from, right? In terms of where did you keep and secure your crypto? How did you buy it? How did you exchange it? How did you sell it? When a lot of these infrastructures that we experience today did not exist. So that blows my mind to think what you experienced back then and how much of a pioneer you were to take the chance on something that even to today people say is not real, it's not gonna have longevity, and, it's not safe.
Yeah. My first 180 Bitcoin purchase, do you know how I bought it? It was with a money order. I had to
Really?
physically I had to physically mail a money order to this exchange, and then they had a credit in my account. Wallets and stuff, oh my God. I actually had a friend because the exchange held your Bitcoin. And I don't know if you ever heard about Mount Gox. Um,
No, way before my time.
oh yeah, well Mount Gox, uh, t my friend came over and he helped me put my Bitcoin onto my computer hard drive. Like there was no wallets and stuff like that. Like my Bitcoin was on my hard drive. 2 weeks later, that Mount Gox, everybody's Bitcoin got stolen. I don't know what happened. It was all gone, gone, all of it. Um, it was like dinosaur age. Now you've got, Trust Wallet and MetaMask and all this. There was none of that. Like you put this stuff on your computer. That's why you hear these stories. Oh, this guy, he threw his computer away and into the dump, his old hard drive with 1,000 bitcoins, because that's how you stored them. They weren't they weren't online, and you could just enter in a seed phrase on another machine. No, they were on your hard drive, and if your hard drive burnt up or your computer died or whatever, you would have lost all your Bitcoin. So it was really like super dinosaur age of crypto. It's really gone really far. And even now, with Trust Wallet and all that, like the future, I mean, I can't even think of what the future is going to be like because it's still the dinosaur age.
Yeah, but you've seen such a big jump, right? In how many people are getting involved. So, in your perspective of the time that since you've been in crypto, would you say that toxicity, malicious entities, and scams, do you think they've gotten worse over time or lessened over time?
Um, Worse because there's more people, there's more opportunity to scam. Um, Back then, you would get you would the same thing as today. People would be like, "Oh, okay, send me your whatever you're holding." They know what you're holding from the group. Send me your holdings, we'll send you 2x back. The same thing was back then on forums. They'd be like, "Do you own Bitcoin? Send us your Bitcoin and we'll send you 2 times back." That scam has been around forever, and it's still here today. So, but it's worse now. You're getting DMs, you go to buy a pre-sale and you're spammed into a fake group. I mean, those have caught me too. Just waking up out of bed and you're spammed into a fake group and you set your alarm to get in the pre-sale and you roll over and it's like you look and you click on the thing and it's like pink salsa.finance instead of pink sale, and you're like, oh my God, and the little bar is moving like it's filling up, and I gotta buy right now, right? And you throw a BNB in, and next thing you know, and then you look at the top, it says report spam and leave, and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? So you didn't have stuff like that. You got to be really on your game now, or you're gonna get scammed.
Yeah, it kinda makes sense now that I hear you say because, the advancement of technology means that we have more tools to make things look more authentic, right? To kind of scam the eyes in terms
Yeah.
of, what you're getting yourself into. It's that, simple addition of a space, addition of a dot, the changing of an L to a capital I, right? That helps perpetuate people who fall for it. And sometimes it's not because they were too gullible, it's just that they didn't inspect what they expected. What is the most memorable scam that you've experienced in your journey?
Um, I was on a token. This is actually the token where I met my team. It was called Baby Uniswap. And we all bought into it, and the dev was always sleeping. Um, we never knew that, if the dev's always sleeping, it's a scam. And there was a mod in there, but he was actually the dev. And we took this thing, it was at $10,000 market cap, and we all bought in. We got this thing up to $300,000 market cap just by being in the voice chat and, getting everybody all excited and that. We got this thing up to $300,000. I went to bed. I wake up in the morning to a phone call, my first ever Telegram phone call. And I'm like, what is this? like, what's going on here? And I look and who's this? And I see this weird name and I answer it. And this guy comes on. It was that mod. He liked me. We kind of became friends. And all I hear is sell, sell now, sell now. Oh my God, what do I sell? I'm scrambling. I'm looking through Telegram. I'm like, oh my God, it's that baby Uniswap. So I quickly sell it and then I go into their chat and I see everybody sell your tokens and then a countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then he pulled the liquidity. We were all in the voice
Wow.
chat. We were super upset. And that's kind of like you always make your best crypto friends when you get rug pulled. That's where I've met a lot of my best crypto friends was in the voice chat after a rug pull. So, we started trading together and that's kind of like the origin of Crypto Blast was from that baby Uniswap scam.
It's a human experience. I think, people who have experienced the scam when it happens for the first time, it's a unique type of human experience because there's not very many opportunities outside of crypto unless you're really like not smart with your money and you're just kind of like, let me put my credit card number here and there. But it just doesn't happen as often as when we experience it in this space, right? So for somebody to first experience a scam, usually they're targeted for that, right? There's a lot of marketing and exposure that happens to those key people, and it's really branded for newbies, right? It's dazzling. It's got a lot of money behind it. It's got a lot of promise. Sometimes there's celebrities involved, and so you get excited, and because as a new investor, you may not be well equipped to understand what red flags to look out for when it happens, first you're confused. You're confused because you might be in a position where you don't know if there's something really wrong or if there's something wrong with how you're doing it. Like if you're just not executing the steps that you need to take in order to sell or to take a profit, right? So then you go back into the chat or you go back to wherever you were engaging the token and you start asking questions. And I remember, one of my first experiences, it was I go back to the chat and there was just all these people saying, "Oh, it's done. It's rug pulled, honeypot. We should have known," like, and I was like, what is that? What is going on? What does this mean? And so it goes from confusion to almost embarrassment because now however long it took you to come to the conclusion that you're never getting that money back and that this is a thing that happens. Now you're questioning, oh my gosh, the website looked good. There was a team here, there was a TG, there was a Twitter, there was all this stuff. And you realize that these are all fake. It's like being catfished for the first time, right? And it's embarrassing.
Yeah. The thing is like in this space, I mean, if you're in here long enough, you're gonna get scammed. Everybody's gonna get scammed. It's everywhere. It is it's everywhere. Um, Being able to spot it, you think you're the smartest person, and sometimes you miss it. Something can look completely amazing and legit, and you just miss it. But that's why I say, like everybody says it, only invest what you're willing to lose because eventually it's going to happen. You're going to lose something.
Yeah, and that brings me to, the next thing I love to ask, which is what top 3 pieces of advice would you give to a new crypto investor in this space? Not investing more than you're willing to lose is definitely a great advice. And I've heard people kind of like piggyback on that and say, not just only put in what you can lose, but also ladder in, right? Don't put it all in at once. Like get in, check out what the performance is. If it keeps on going up, make another choice, maybe buy a dip, but what would be your top 3 advices if you were sitting down with somebody brand spanking new?
Um, my top three advice, well, especially is don't go chasing, those green candles. That's number one. A lot of people get wrecked chasing these green candles, especially on something that doesn't really have anything backing it. Like we saw the other day, we had Grimace coin. I mean, you probably saw that. and I had a friend throw in a really high up on it, and I think it's pretty far down now. So he lost his money. He's like, this is going to 100 million. This is going to 100 million, but it didn't because it has nothing backing it. Um, these tokens that have nothing really backing it, very few go like Dogecoin level. Everybody's in the chat saying, "Oh, this is the next Dogecoin. This is the next Dogecoin," but that is so rare. It's like winning the Powerball, right? Out
Yeah, it
of all
really
these.
is.
So yeah, that's what I say is just don't go chasing green candles. If you were in at the beginning of that, great, but if it's going up, 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 you just got to say, hey, I missed that one, and move on.
Yeah.
Um,
What you're talking about is the term that, we teach over at DYOR, which is FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's basically what it is chasing the green candle. You see that something's skyrocketing, maybe you're 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, which is a long time in this space, right? And you might just check your DM, or somebody texted you, or you check the chart, and now you see this is on a rise, and you're chasing the green candle by buying into the chart while it's going up. And we call that fear of missing out. So I don't know if you had that term when you first started or when it came about in your journey, but FOMO to you, what does that mean? Like, why is this such a popular crypto term in this space?
yeah, like FOMO to me is like, the chat is FOMO. Everybody's all hyped up in the chat. Um, that's what you're chasing sometimes is that hype in the chat, and you see the chart and you're just like, oh my God, this is going to go to $1 billion. And you throw your money in, and then as soon as you throw it in, it's just like it's gone. It's going down. It's
Nothing
going
happens.
down. And you go and look at
So most
KuCoin, and
people
your
fall
little
for
your
it.
little green dot is like 2 inches above the thing, right?
No,
Um,
no, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it
like,
happens to
the FOMO to me, it was, when I understood the term, I was like, "Man, there's been a couple of times where I only bought because of the chart," right? And I didn't know that, hey, I should go find out why, like, because then
yeah,
I didn't know that FOMO can happen from nothing. Just people hyping it up, right? Just a buy party. I mean, I've had some
yeah,
fun nights with my community where we say, "Hey, let's have a buy party. We're gonna do this for every, quarter BNB buy. We'll do X, Y, and Z. We're doing giveaways." So if you look at the chart, it looks like we've got a little pump. Now there's nothing that's gonna sustain that, right? We're doing it as a culture building community event, and it's all fun, and there's prizes and stuff to give away, which are fun. But if somebody's just watching the chart and saying, "I'm gonna FOMO in, I'm gonna put 10,000 in here because we're going to the moon." Oh no, that's not okay,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
number one, arm yourself against the FOMO by asking why. What's happening? What's the news? What is changing? What have they announced, right? And you had
yeah.
mentioned too that take a look if the token is backed by something, and we use that term utility. So what when you're going to look for a token's utility, we might find ourselves in two positions. There's no utility, but there's a promised utility on the way, right? Which is why the token is starting, and there's revenue that needs to be built up in order to accomplish that mission. And then there's some tokens that just launch with utility. Um, when did the concept of being solid in a token's utility, like, what do you look for when you take a look at projects? Like, what utilities excite you?
There's quite a few. I do like the link to real world stuff because I know that, some profit's going to come from the outside world and help support the coin. I don't really like these utilities where it's like, oh, we have a swap or we have our own little exchange or whatever, because there's just so many of them out there and it's so easy to do. I don't like the new tokens that copy other tokens when there's already 4 or 5 of them out there. Oh, we're gonna do a swap or we're gonna do this, just because they might have a new angle on it, but there's just so many out there and there's nothing really money coming in to kind of support the token in the end. I find most tokens, well, I mean, almost all of them, like even Bitcoin, the only reason it's going up is because people are buying it, right? More and more people are buying it. There's nothing really backing it. Like, I don't know about now with the US dollar, but before, it used to be backed by gold. It's not anymore. But, I like things that are backed by something with value.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, because you want to have longevity if you're investing into something. We also have an atmosphere too where people are really doing that gain, like daily gains. Like I've watched communities or signal groups and people who are just like getting into 10 pre-sales a day. It's like, that's just they're just throwing a whole bunch of darts at the board all at once and hoping something sticks. And what negative effect do you think that has on the market when you have, you know, tenured traders like you that wanna have the good behaviors, that understand that, we're looking for X, Y, and Z, and you know what the red flags are. How does that affect you knowing that there's this whole new audience of people coming in and just like, you know, running on the carpet with the shoes on?
Yeah, yeah, you have to be really careful because a lot of people now, they want to throw into something. They want to get, say they throw one B&B in, they make $50 and they're on to the next. They're happy. They made $50. Um, you have to be really careful now because there's a lot of people like that and they ruin a lot of projects by doing that. They don't believe in it. They're just there to make a bit of money. Um, so it's really hard, especially with the amount of new projects. Like if you go look at like daily launch lists and like the actual good projects, there's probably 20 or 30 a day. And then there's all these stealth launches, a couple hundred stealth launches every single day. It's very saturated. So it's really hard to pick the right thing.
Now, you have your own token, and I've been a part of tokens, from before launch to after launch. And when you have this audience of crypto investors that are coming in for the whitelist, for the pre-sales, for the launch, right? If it's a fair launch, and their intention is to get the 2, 3x or even more if it's crazy, right? If it's super hyped up. As a project owner, like, how do you prepare for that, knowing that that exists in that space, that you're so excited to launch your project, your contract's about to go live, you've got people invested in it, but you just know that there are people that are not gonna be there 2 days later.
Yeah. I've been around a while, so it doesn't bother me. And also the direction like of my project, because I don't even care about the chart on my project. I mean, we've gone, see, my project started as a stealth launch with $1,000 in liquidity, and we hit 1.6 million at our high. Uh, we also we were giving 10% ADA rewards. We knocked it back to 8. But with those rewards and with starting at $1,000 in liquidity, I think it was like a $4,000 starting market cap. Um, I knew people would sell because when you're up, what were we? We were with rewards at all-time high. If you bought at the beginning, we were 268x.
Wow.
$20 at the very beginning, the very first few people that buys $20 to $50 was 25,000, right? So that's
Mm.
very tempting. So we did have a lot of people, the temptation was there, so they sold. They didn't, um, but we do have a lot of people that really believe in the project. But we went from uh, 4K starting cap, we went to 200, we went down to 100, back up to 250, we went down to 30K market cap. and most people would go, "Oh, it's over." We held, we never gave up. We went up to 400,000, down to 200,000, up to 600,000, down to 400,000, and then eventually up to 1.6 million. And now we're back, well, with the way the market is, we're back down to 300,000. It doesn't bother me at all, just because of the vision of the project where we're going to bring in outside world profits into the crypto. And my focus is more on our actual registered company than on the crypto, because I know if this registered company takes right off, the crypto is going to follow.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that I do love about your project is that you have, a foot in the real world of business, outside of crypto. And then you have also your foot in the crypto space and you're leveraging the power of the blockchain in order to accomplish your business mission, right? So we'll make sure to get to that. Before I move on, though, I wanted to say you have an advice of don't chase the green candles. Definitely make sure that there's a utility behind the project. And what would you say your next one would be?
I would say really look into the team behind it. That's a very important thing. A lot of times I notice, like, if they don't have a voice chat, it makes me nervous. Um, it makes me really nervous. If they don't have a voice chat and you can't go in there and everybody's muted, it makes me really nervous. I actually was going to buy one the other day, and it looked pretty good. Everything looked good about it. But then it launched, chat was locked. So if the chat's locked, and I went into the voice chat and it was a recording, an actual recording of someone else speaking, and everybody was muted. Um, you really got to watch for those flags. You got to know the team and you got to be able to like talk to the team. So that's a major thing for me.
Is there any experience that you've had where it was acceptable in your mind that the dev was not doxxed?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm on a few right now where they're not doxed, but when I look
Mhm.
at the project, what it has behind it, I can tell they've put in their effort and that it's safe. So it comes with experience, right? You can see what they've got going on, um, that makes it appear like it's not a scam. But you never know 100% on
Oh,
anything,
yeah,
because
even with dox
I've
devs.
oh, I know, I've been in so
Yeah.
many, even with docs people that ran away with the money, even KYC people that have
Yeah.
ran off with money. So you just never know. I actually don't trust. I believe more in doxing, because you see the person, you see them on video, they're talking to you, more than KYC. Because I've been on ones where they KYC'd and then they scam, and then you see the ID and it was just like some ID purchased off someone off Fiverr doc KYCing for him for $100.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and again, it's going back to that point that technology actually helps the malicious entities make things look authentic, right? Um,
Yeah.
when I think about docs teams, that's definitely, if a team is doxed, I'm more interested. But there's a lot of variables that I look at when I take a look at a project. Doxing isn't necessarily mean that it's, 100% safe because taking a look at the team from a doc standpoint, you still want to look further and say what kind of leaders are they? So, when I'm getting to know you and your journey, knowing that you're level-headed, that, the price isn't going to tell you as a leader whether or not you're successful or not. You're looking at your daily behaviors, your roadmap, what you want to accomplish, and you understand that, you can continue to do your job perfectly all day, every day, and the price will still fluctuate because there's one thing we accept in crypto is there's volatility and that investors have their own emotions. And then in addition, we have tenured investors with the right behaviors and people that are learning. So, that's what volatility is, and there's a lot of variables that will affect that. But when I take a look at teams, I'm taking a look at how do they act when things are great, but more so, how do they act when things are not so great, like the current market that we're in, right? It's not pretty. And what kind of access in terms of communication do we have? Because new projects in this space, the roadmap isn't always going to be accomplished in a perfect, I've done this, I did that, I did this, and there was no challenges. Sometimes we have to expect the unexpected. And as leaders, we have to adapt and stay flexible, right? If you take a look at your project, what was one of the plot twists that came up that you didn't expect that you had to overcome?
Um, One thing was one of our early buyers. Like as you know, like we're always in voice chat, always. Like it's like kind of like a hangout. People come different times of days. They always know that someone's in there and they can come talk crypto, talk about whatever. It doesn't even have to be about the project. It's like a hangout spot. We had one guy, and he was in there every single day, and he's the biggest Crypto Blast fan ever. I get a message from him, and he's like, Diamond, I'm sorry, but we had a big sell. I'm talking like $8,000 sell. And I'm like, oh man, whales out. Diamond, I'm sorry. I had to sell. Um, I'll explain to you later. I get a video from him about a week later, and what happened was him. He's got five like really young kids. Like they're all like under the age of five. All these kids, like he's got so many little kids. It's like a zoo. It's a video, and it's his kids in their all had little Crypto Blast hoodies on, and they're standing in front of a new house, and they had a key and they had a piece of paper that said "Thank you, Diamond." And that was probably my most unexpected moment in the project, and probably made the whole entire thing worthwhile. That this family got a house because of Crypto Blast. I mean, I could end it all right now and be happy just from that.
That's that's a beautiful story. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many CEOs and developers, and that's what they hope for. And you got to experience that. They hope that when it comes to, when they envision what they can provide to investors, the lucky devs that I've been able to meet, it's been their dream to be able to impact lives in that way. So that must have been such a fulfilling moment for you and your team. Like, how did your team, take that news?
Yeah, well, he still hangs out in voice chat. We love him. We even gave him some more tokens. Um, yeah, we were all super happy that he did that. Like, there's no, oh, he sold, he dumped our chart or any of that. We love him, right? And
Yeah.
that's why we do it. Like when from the time Crypto Blast started, like, I bought a couple wallets. At one point I had 50 to $80,000. I haven't sold one token because the reason I do it is Crypto Blast started, it was all my friends, like a way that they could all win. I've already won. Like everybody knows, like in Crypto Blast that I've already won. I'm doing this for all my friends to win. I do it for fun. I don't even need to do this, but I do it for fun, and I love it. I want everybody to win. I want them all to experience a giant win and get their own house or car or whatever, just like our one investor did.
I love that. And I love that there's leaders like you that do it not for, the profit, right? It's not for what it's gonna give to you in terms of your pocket, but you're doing it from the heart, right? And you're doing something you're passionate about. So that's super cool. And thank you for sharing that story. Now, I know we touched about it a little bit earlier when you said, I don't know where crypto is going to go, but if you had to guess, what would be your dream for where crypto, what the future of crypto looks like?
I think we all know where it's going to go. I mean, you can see with China with their digital yuan. You're going to see a digital American dollar. You're going to see it converted to digital money. Um, this space, it's hard to know right now where it's going to go, but I think you're going to see, regulations step in, and it's going to have to be registered companies. It's going to have to be, on the up and up. Um, I think you're going to see a big change. You're also going to see a big change with like the whole metaverse thing. I think it's so early. I think eventually, it's almost like Matrix type stuff, where these people, they're going to be wearing their virtual reality goggles at home, going into the office instead of physically going into an office. Everybody will be working from home. Um, there's just so many things that are coming that it's so early. It's like an unknown. It's like traveling into space.
I love to sit down sometimes and just daydream about what that future will be like. I come from a background not just in retail, but in, mobile wireless. And I was a part of that industry so far way back in the day that, it was before internet was on the phones. And we start to see relationships between people change as technology changes. And then also to the financial opportunities for us to have lives and provide financial income for ourselves is also elevated through technology. When you're in a position like yours as a leader of a project trying to use the power of the blockchain to do something good, why don't you tell me a little bit about your project CryptoBlast and how is CryptoBlast going to contribute to the cryptosphere?
So CryptoBlast is a registered company in Canada. We're based out of British Columbia, Canada. Our goal is to put energy drinks everywhere. Stores, Amazon, Walmart, Costco, all over the world eventually. I mean, that's our ultimate goal. Um, Part of that is we want to take a bunch of the profit and give it back to the holders of the token. So different from a normal company, normal companies give dividends and whatnot, but they're not very much. We want to give most of the drink sales back to the holders, like 30%. That's our ultimate goal, either by like buying and burning the token or adding it to the liquidity pool or whatever. So that's our ultimate goal is we want to have energy drinks in every single store. We're getting close already. We got our trademark submitted. We have a factory that's going to make the drinks. We've already, I mean, you've gotten a can of the drink. We've already got
I have.
physical drinks in our hand. Um, but yeah, that's our ultimate goal is to have drinks in every single store and adopt things like NFTs and all that into the can.
Yeah, I absolutely have placed my Crypto Blast on the same shelf with my career awards. So it's next to my awards that are done in glass. When I picked it up from UPS, I was overly excited about it because I knew I wasn't just getting one for myself, but I was delivering it to the DBT team for the first buy and burn, right? Because you're a season one contestant. And I opened it up and I didn't want to open mine to taste it. So thank goodness Ethan from DYOR opened one. So I got to taste it, which was a fantastic taste. It tasted to me like Smarties, like the Smarties candy, like the little ones you get in Halloween, or like a sweet tart. And I know that you're gonna be coming out with other flavors, but, before we started this, I had asked you about the NFTs and the QR codes because I know that's why my can is special, because it won't have those things. Because you guys are gonna be going to market pretty soon, which is, on the Amazon platform as well as in stores. And in addition to that, you're gonna want to leverage this brand in order to get people involved in crypto. Tell me about that.
Um, well, one thing you're going to notice too is I know you know them because they were in your buy and burn. Are they in this month? Income Island.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, when you first walk into Income Island, you'll see Crypto Blast. And what it's going to be is we're going to have vending machines on the island, and you can walk up to one of those vending machines. It's going to take you to Amazon, and you'll be able to get a drink delivered to your house from the island.
I love it. Yeah,
So we're
Income
doing
Island
both.
is in, season 3 right now, and so we've taken a look at their platform in terms of, like, the reality of the metaverse that they're creating, and they had brought you up too because they wanted to have, like, a DBT Fire Island, and I was like, "I would love to have a DR University somewhere in there too." But what I'm finding is that, I knew you from November, I know Income Island from January, but you guys are connected, right? So your name and your project came up, and I love that we're building this sphere of cool projects with leadership that kinda has, some of those standards that you're setting in terms of advice for people that are new in this space, and we're finding ways to continue to collaborate instead of compete.
Yeah, yeah. To me, nobody's competition. I love working with everybody. I'm a people person. I love just going to different chats and hanging out. And I think that's one of the reasons like we're making so many connections with like, I mean, we probably have like 20, 30 partnerships on the go just because I just love these projects and hanging out with them and I love metaverse stuff. So you will see us in some pretty big metaverses too. Um, Income Island's it's going to be really good. I really believe Income Island's like a good one to get on. I've even myself I've purchased some properties and some tokens. I think that's going to be good. But what we want to be is we want to be the first, kind of physical product that people are buying in all these virtual worlds. Um, when it comes to the NFTs, we've got so many different plans with NFTs. Like, you buy a can, you get a free NFT, stuff, all sorts of stuff like that. Or you buy an NFT and you have our app on your phone and you go into the store and you let the guy at the store scan your barcode and that NFT gives you 10% off drinks. Or we'll have a giveaway where you get free drinks for life with the special NFT. So many different things can be done with crypto. It's amazing, especially NFTs.
Yeah, the emergence of all these new technologies, the option of, building virtual spaces for us to all interact with each other and a whole new planet, basically for us to market and engage and develop relationships and run businesses. I mean, it's a whole layer to what you're already taking advantage of, right? Because you're in the real world. You're outside of crypto. You're going to be on Amazon. You're going to be in stores, and then on top of that, your investors can get really excited because you're not just leveraging a traditional, business um, plan, but you're also totally cool and hip and getting into all of these metaverses and leveraging all these new technologies to help just perpetuate your mission to help your investors gain financial freedom, generational wealth, buy a house, or even take care of a loved one. These are things that are going to help you accomplish your mission. And I'm so excited to have gotten to know you better, your story, to know, I think it's important for people to not just learn from your experience in your seat as a CEO, but as a tenure person, but your community, hopefully when they hear this, if they haven't heard those stories, they're gonna respect you so much more for wanting to do this from the heart. Because you said it yourself, you don't have to do it, but you're passionate about blockchain, you're passionate about cryptocurrency, you're here in the BSC space, and you're trying to change lives.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're gonna see it because all these big companies they're starting to get into crypto because they know that like everything's kind of going the crypto way and NFT way and metaverse way because eventually you're going to be sitting on your couch, you're going to strap on some goggles, and that's how you go to the mall. I really see that, maybe not 10 years, but 20, 30 years from now, I really believe that it's going to be the way because it's also going to make, a greener world when you can just go to the mall and look at items through some VR glasses or pick up a can of Crypto Blast and take it to the counter and buy it and it actually comes to your door. Stuff like that. I think that's the future and it's like a green energy future too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I haven't really thought about that too much. I mean, there was one token that came through our season 2 that was, all about green energy, and I've seen a couple of them out there, and that's what I love. Like, again, it's my buzzword, using the power of the blockchain in order to accomplish, like, your overall goal, your mission, and that's just what I find so many projects in this space trying to do. And we've talked about it. Unfortunately, some of them are malicious and they're just here to get your money. But hopefully, by educating people of what standards, they can hold projects up to so that they're not losing their good earned money into bad projects that are out to scam you, then we can funnel the money into good projects that are out there to do good things. So overall, I got to thank you so much for your time today to tell your story, to give us some great advice, to tell us, your wisdom and your how you think crypto is going to look like in the future, but more so what great things you're doing through your project. So congratulations to you and your team for taking the next steps and continuing to grow your project. And thank you so much for your time today here, Diamond.
Yeah, thank you. And if anybody new ever wants to, you just pop in the Crypto Blast chat. We've always got people in there. And if you're wondering, oh, is this a scam? That's a scam. Our chat's open 24 hours a day. We've got a guy named Ninja in there. He's a master investigator. And you just tell him, hey, what do you think about this? And he'll tell you. So come on over.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to throw the link to your Telegram into the description of this podcast. And I highly, highly recommend that you guys go check them out. And if you can, once it hits the stores or Amazon, get yourself a can of Crypto Blast and put it on your shelf with the rest of your rewards because that's going to be a first. And that's what we love about being in crypto. Hey, I'm here 11 years later than you, but I still feel like I'm a first mover. So I'll take it.
Yeah, buy. Right now, you
Yeah.
should be buying and holding.
Accumulate. Thanks for the advice, Diamond, and we'll catch you around next time, okay?
Okay, thank you, Carmen.
What a fantastic conversation that was. Thank you so much to Diamond Dallas Crypto from Crypto Blast. What an amazing conversation in terms of walking away with so much wisdom and advice. Thank you so much again. Now, also a shout out to the DYOR token community. Do your own research. The team over there is doing their best every single day to accomplish their mission to educate, equip, and empower their investors to make smart decisions in investing with confidence here in the crypto space. And also, too, shout out to DBT, Disco Burn Token. If you have a project that you would love to have in the season 4 competition, please make sure that a dev or a CEO goes to discoburntoken.com. Applications are live, and you can participate in one of the most fun experiences in crypto where you get to collaborate with communities all across the entire season and also have a chance to win a buy and burn for your project. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.